back, and we're moving into our first conversation for today. And to summarize our coverage of the Belize International Film Festival, we are joined by one of the award winners. We have representatives from My Father Belize. It's a Belizean film, and they earned the most notable Belizean film along with Tequani and Duende. But we have the people behind My Father Belize. We have Ron Oscar Sierra, who's the writer-producer. We have Leon Lozano, who's the director. And we have Arlin Escarpeta, who is one of the actors. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Yeah. So definitely feeling very proud this morning, I'm sure. Happy? Hard work paid off? Pat on the back?
Double
Or on
pat.
each other's?
Double pat.
So let's just kind of start off with the beginning of this and where the idea came from, one, to collaborate to make this film.
Well, Leon, go ahead, start it.
All right, yeah, okay. So Ron and I attended the Belize International Film Festival in 2016. Ron was here with a short film. I was here as a guest panelist. And while we were here watching a lot of the films made by Belizean filmmakers and seeing Belizean talent on the screen, we were just very inspired by that. I wanted in on that action. And so we talked about doing something together. We're cousins. And we've never worked together before, so we thought it'd be good to do something together, made with Belizean talent, with people behind the camera, in front of the camera that are Belizean. So we started working on something. Ron had a short film that he wrote, and I approached him about taking that and reworking it into a new story that would be set here.
Yeah. And hence the beginning of My Father Belize.
That's how the journey started.
All right. How long ago?
It's almost a year now.
Okay.
It's a total of a year. Over a year.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, yeah. Time flies. It's been over a year, yeah.
Yeah, we started, I think it was January of 2018 is when we started the writing process. Then we began pre-production near the end of summer. And we were shooting in October of 2018.
Yeah.
What goes into the writing process? I ask because a lot of viewers tend to look at the action as opposed to what goes into the concept and the storyline. So what was the writing process like?
Writing. Just writing, getting up in the morning and doing it.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, if you have ideas, the process shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
Just getting it somewhat perfect in order to be able to shoot it is the next step. But actually, it's having ideas and, just opening up your mind. We all dream. So, let's just getting them dreams down on paper and making it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Do you bounce ideas off of each other in terms of?
Normally we do. Yeah, he sends me stuff, I send him stuff. And this one particular thing I just so happened to write stuck with him, and he was like, we got to do it.
What about the storyline stood out to you?
Well, Ron, in general, has awesome ideas. So,
Did he pay you?
I was just going to say, just because he's next to you.
he's bigger than me. He might,
Give you the money later, don't worry.
No, nickname I came up with him is the Fountain, because he's like a fountain of great ideas. And this is just one of many ideas that he has that I thought was an intriguing concept, and had some themes in it that I thought would. A lot of times, the best stories are the ones that many people can relate to.
Yeah.
And I felt like this was one of those, and I wanted to get in there.
Yeah.
And how did you guys stumble upon Arlen's acting talents?
Was that rookie?
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Arlin.
No, it's not hard to stumble upon it. He's everywhere.
Thank you. Okay.
So, we're familiar with his work, and we're fans of his work. And the cherry on top of the ice cream is that he was born here.
Yes, yeah, Belize is home. It had been a while since I had come back home, and My grandmother is big in Belize. That's Miss Henrietta Gill, the boxing lady. So
Yeah.
a lot of people know and love my grandmother. So for me, it was double blessing to book a film, to get to come back home to Belize, to work with Leon and Ron. It was an absolute pleasure. And it's funny, you guys talked about the writing, right? And the writing is always where everything starts. It's always on the page. But I always say, the magic, it happens when you're playing with it in the messiness. You know, that we have so many moments in this film that organically just grew from the seed, which, you know, that these guys planted there. So being back here in Belize, working with such an amazing Belizean crew, and I've worked on a ton of different sets, and I can honestly say that I haven't seen the type of passion and drive that the Belizean crew brought to set every day, top to bottom. Nobody skipped a beat, nobody took a day off, and it made me, and I'm sure Ron and Leon as well, number one, not only appreciate being here, but at the same time, raise your game as well too, you know?
Yeah. What was it like for you, Arlin, to come back to Belize and replicate Belizean life?
It was special.
Yeah.
It was special. Even being grown up in the States, I'm still in a Belizean household, so I got my Milo in the cupboard.
All right, good.
Literally,
That's one check.
they'll tell you, me being here, I tried to soak up as much of Belize that I could remember from when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I went around and I got as much. I probably ate more of it than anything.
But I saw a comforter shot just now. I'm like, okay, that's good.
Yes.
More than anything, it was just really special to come back and just walk back in those footsteps that gave me life. You know, yesterday afternoon I got to spend the day with my 91-year-old grandfather, who hadn't seen me for quite some time. It's been feeding me from beginning to end. So my soul is full right now.
Yeah. And you know, I think that's perhaps one of the questions I had in looking at creating a Belizean film. You said you had the script already, but you wanted to make it more authentically Belizean. Now, even if you get it authentically Belizean on paper, the entire production, I mean, real life is real life, and recreating it in an authentic manner can be a challenge, especially where we as the viewers know exactly how it's supposed to be. So when you go to see, this is how it really happened.
Right.
What was that process like for you?
It was kind of easy, to be honest with you. Like we're not raised here, but our homes are strictly Belizean.
100%.
Yeah, we wake up to fried jack, Johnny Kid.
Stewed beans, white rice.
Yes, fried beans, breakfast, Dutch cheese. We still get everything.
Yeah.
You know, plus our, you know, when you get scolded by your mom, it's still there. You know, it wasn't.
The colorful Creole language come out.
Exactly. It wasn't hard to bring it on page.
Yeah.
And so that was the easy part. Yeah. The hard part was actually when we were done filming, having to go back home.
Yeah.
We were like, we wish we could stay more.
That's right.
Now, in terms of the festival itself and your entry, what was it like looking at the works of other producers and actors against your one?
Can I take
this? Go ahead.
I thought they were amazing. I really did. I laughed, I smiled, I left inspired, and I made a lot of friends. I connected with a bunch of different filmmakers. One of the young gentlemen by the name of Lester, I forget Lester's last name, but he had an amazing film called IGF. I told him, I said, here's my information. I expect a message from you saying, I wrote this, and he wrote it, he directed it, he started it, and he produced it.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, I expect a message from you saying, I wrote this, let's come back to Belize and shoot this so I can be in this with you. I mean, I was really inspired.
Yeah.
Everybody was amazing.
Yeah, Time for Eat, Mr. Roy's project was amazing. The team who did the horror film. Everything was,
Haunted Wife.
Oh my God, like people, like I say this every time, and we all do, Belize has talent.
Yes.
And that was just like mind blowing watching all these films produced, starred, and everything in and around Belize. It was amazing.
And I just say, just like how we started
Yeah.
in 2016, being inspired by that.
Yeah.
all over again.
Yeah.
Same experience.
Yeah.
So the wheels are turning for the next production.
We're talking about a feature now.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
That immediately happened.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's asking for it. So
Yeah.
we screened the film 3 times while we were here, and plenty of people have walked up and said, "What happens next? I want more. Is there a sequel?" So you got to give the people what they want.
How do you factor in budgets and logistics and that sort of stuff?
Yeah. I'll say that I'm a director and a writer, and I'm a producer also. But my director and writer hat is a little more seasoned than the budget side of things with the producer side. So we sort of just jumped into this wanting to make it happen.
Okay.
And we had an idea of what it would cost to make it happen.
Yeah.
And it ended up costing a little bit more
Than what we thought.
But basically we refused to take no for an answer, and we decided to do this, so we pushed through and just found a way to get it done.
Thanks to our wives for allowing.
Right.
To go a little over. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Now, you said you used a Belizean crew as well, so you tried to keep the entire production Belizean. What was the talent pool? I mean, I think sometimes people feel that we just don't have, whether it's the equipment or the trained persons to be able to complete the films. Is that the case?
I'm gonna say no. Belize has talent. Unfortunately for us, we were in LA, and we cast from LA with as many Belizeans as possible.
Yeah.
Arlin was a no-brainer. That was easy. And then, luckily for us, we do have a cousin, Keisha Sierra, who is an actress as well.
And she's actually, I think she's the Independence baby, if I'm not, yeah, she's the Independence baby.
First baby born
First
in
baby, yeah.
Independence. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of history.
Yeah. Go ahead, Leon, sorry.
Oh, well, with crewing up, one of the producers of this film is the Film Commissioner of Belize, Mr. Nigel Miguel. And so he gave us access to crew here to get it done. So Young Star, we worked with Young Star
Really
to
good.
get our crew together.
Yeah.
We worked with Skip Weaver
Yes.
out of Placencia, and we also work with Stephen Zayden.
Okay.
So
yeah.
between those three,
Yeah, you pretty much had everything.
we had everything. Yeah.
We had a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where you grew up, you see the possibility for film. I mean, it's just a part of your own livelihood. The Film Commission and the Film and Media Arts Unit, Niche, they've been working so hard, and we do always say congratulations to them in having the Belize International Film Festival going for so long and still getting so many entries. And while we see a growth in the number of films coming out of Belize, it still isn't showing or true potential in what we can create. When you come and you interact with other producers, other actors, other people who've been involved, what's your message to them about being motivated to continue and maybe even venture into features?
Yeah, I would say that just in our time here this go around, even within our crew, there have been people, I've had conversations where people are saying, we were inspired when we were a part of this production, and I'm writing my next project, and I want to make my next film, or people that were here that screened are talking about their next projects. So my advice to anyone is to just basically to do it and take advantage of what you have access to.
Yeah.
If you know someone with a barbershop, then write something that's centered around a barbershop. And that's one way to go about it. My first feature film that I did about a decade ago, the whole thing takes place in an apartment. It's basically a guy sitting on a couch. Family and friends are coming to visit him. He's attempted to take his life, and they're coming to comfort him and see what's wrong. And with each visit, there's a flashback to show what sort of brought him to that point. And the reason I wrote it that way is because I didn't have a lot of money, but I wanted to have a feature film. So I had access to an apartment. So make your movie.
Nice.
I was going to say, for me, one of the things that I know inspired me growing up was being young and being in elementary school and junior high school and high school. And I was fortunate to go to a performing arts across the board where I got exposed to a lot. So what I've been telling people, start with the youth. Let them start writing and creating. I pitched an idea to a gentleman last night that, and I would love to come back and be a part of it. I'm sure anybody here would as well. If you had a bunch of kids in the classroom, let them all write a short story. Then let the kids vote on which short story they want to make. And then all the kids can be crew, you know, and then we can have actors and producers and directors come back here and read a reading for the kids, help them make their own film. Little things like that will live on forever and a day, and you'll spark those minds to be the future of Belize. I don't think it's always necessarily just left up to the adults. I think it's also very important to just start young and let their creative mind just go. I mean, being a kid, their imaginations are all over the place, and that's untapped talent that you don't have to wait for them to grow up to allow them to shine.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Now, I'm more so, people need to collaborate together. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't think we should worry about who's going to get what credit at a certain point, although it's very important.
Yeah.
But if this group of people are skilled at this thing and this group of people skilled at another thing, come together and make it happen. That's it.
That's
just
filmmaking.
Coming together and make it happen, because this happened with me to him, to the next person, phone call. We all agreed on certain things, and we made it happen. From LA to Belize.
And you have the award in front of you that you won last night. We have a little clip showing of you accepting the award. Were you surprised? I mean, first of all, I gotta say that I got the scoop that Friday night was packed at the theater. I mean, people were sitting in the rows because there weren't enough seats. This is a great sign of the interest that people have in the Belizean produced films. So you saw everybody's work. You know what the competition was putting forward. How surprised were you when the time came to announce the award?
He was sweating.
I was so nervous.
Really?
I was nervous all day.
Yeah.
Literally
All
sweating.
day.
Okay, so tell me who stood out to you at the screening and you're thinking, oh man, I don't know, that's tough competition there. Who wants to say?
I think definitely the animated feature, and obviously because we ended up sharing it with them. I'm a big anime fan in general because I'm a big kid, so that one really stood out to me. It's very, very strong. I think that was the one that really grabbed a hold of me mostly. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because animation isn't easy.
No,
So it was like, when we knew what we were up against, I was like, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a lot of hard work in that thing.
I would say that the very same screening that you mentioned, the audience responded to everything that day. Like, in big reactions.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Talking
We're
to the
unique
screen.
moviegoers. I
Right.
can say that. Like everywhere else, you're polite, but here it's different.
You know, we all agree that was our greatest screening. It was like, it was such a great time, but it is hard to tell where you stand in there. So it's hard for me to really single out a film because all of them had such big responses. But this is, you know.
So you were sweating, and did they call you first, or did they call the Tekwani first?
They did it together.
They did it together,
Which I think is wonderful. They celebrated both of us together. And I'll say this, I don't believe there's any losers in a film festival, ever. A trophy and an award is wonderful, but the experience can't be matched by a tangible physical thing. It's the experience, it's the sharing of energy and people and information. And like Arlin said, it's a collaboration. A year from now, we come back and we might be working with the same people that we were going up against. You know, that should be the goal. You know, to do something, collaborate and work together.
Now, how significant is this award to you?
Well, there's a reason I was nervous. We've been building it since early 2018. And there was a mission and a goal and a dream we had to be back here and to screen this film. And so my initial nervousness is how would it be received? It's been received very well so far on the festival circuit, but that's not here.
Yeah.
And what
It was
mattered,
important that you had that
it
impact
was
here.
important that that it be received well here, and it was. And you know, the award is just sort of that end of that journey of what we've experienced a week here. So for me, it's been an awesome week.
Yeah, 100%. This award, although he said this is for me what it's about.
This is for you. That's yours. This is for me.
This is going to be a timeshare award.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The revolving award right here.
We got joint custody.
Yeah. But yeah, this was it.
Yeah.
Having the approval of the Belizean citizens, that's what matters. Because it would have been nothing if we didn't get the authenticity right and people on board.
Can I take a quick second and just highlight some of our cast as well?
Sure.
Keisha Sierra did a phenomenal job in the film. Kirby Garcia, amazing. My favorite character in the movie personally was Kirby's character, a young gentleman by the name of Cody Tucker from Key Calker. First time acting on screen. He played my son in the movie, and he shines so bright. Roger Guinevere Smith. I was fortunate to share the screen with every single one of them. Everybody was amazing. Yeah. And then we had a whole host of Belizean actors and I've called them family now that got to come on board. And there's Miss Ruth. I mean, it was a blessing. Yeah. It really was.
That's nice. Man.
All right. Well, we're glad that you came in to tell us that you came here to tell us your reaction to winning the award, a bit about your story. Congratulations, best of luck, and we'll look out for the feature next year. We'll leave you on that note. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break now. You said you loved animation. We're actually talking about an animated series, and it's called The Nubia Show. We'll get all the details in the second part of our show. Please stay tuned.